drinking Kool-Aid cameras like I did when I was 9. Cause I like to pretend that I haven't lost the time. In the end, the nostalgia, though it tastes fine, I can only drink a couple cause it feels like a lie. We'd play Halo and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began to rise. We would go to school but not learn too much, cause it's hard to read when you've got tired eyes. Months go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. Years go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. They've been with me for some time, and it's nice to know that they still by my side. Friends are like stars, cause no matter how far, when it's dark outside, they will be your light. We'd play Halo, and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began to rise. We would go to school but not learn too much, cause it's hard to read when you've got tired eyes. Months go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. Years go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you.
Hi.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Early morning. We are not used to this.
No, not at all.
Oh man, but we're getting right into it. I'm super excited for today.
It's gonna be a fun one.
I know. So happy early Halloween to everybody. Also, welcome back to episode 6 of Beyond Streaming. I am Lainie, and this is my lovely co-host,
Tevin. Hello.
And today we got a great one for you. We got Mr. NiceGuyJusty on today. He's going to tell us all about his comeback to streaming, and he has some spooky stories to talk about today as well. For anyone who is watching this live, the last 15 minutes of the stream, we will be taking questions from chat. So if you guys have any questions, any spooky questions, anything streaming related for Justy, please feel free to ask those questions. We would love to get those in for you guys. Let's get Justy in here.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
Why,
hello. Are you having fun over there?
I am. I'm at Spencer's house today because, Spencer texted me on like Monday or Tuesday. He's like, you want to be on the podcast? I'm like, well, I'm not going to be at my setup. So I'm like, can I just use your house? And he's like,
it works out.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Looks better with you in it, in my opinion.
Oh, well, thank
Look
you.
at that.
Sorry, Spencer, but you're gone. Oh my goodness.
All right, Justy. So let's get into it. Where did it all start? What got you into streaming, and where did you start with it?
So I started like when quarantine first started back in like March of 2020. They just sent us home for quarantine, COVID, and I was just kind of like looking for something to do because at the time, like me and my friends and my girlfriend were kind of just like we don't really want to see each other because it was still early. We didn't really know the contents of it all. So I was like, I gotta find something to do. And I had like a microphone. I used to do music and stuff like that, but that didn't really work out. And I had a capture card because I thought I was gonna make YouTube videos, but before streaming, I used it like twice. So it was just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, I gotta figure out some uses for this. So I was like, I'm gonna start streaming and just see where it goes. And made an account. I actually like did a lot of homework on it. Like I looked up videos, how to start, and like what you should have in chat, like eye candy, stuff like that, and what games you should play. I started playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, and that it was just like I was gonna play, see how it goes. And then about 2 weeks later, it started like picking up, I had 6 viewers and then like 10 and then 15 like the week after that. And I was just like, this is kind of like this is kind of cool, And then like a month later I hit affiliate. And then I think a week or two after I hit affiliate, I rated a guy called Original Bon Jovi.
No,
You you guys might have heard of him. And so yeah, I rated him, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm from Cleveland," and I was like, "Well, I'm from Cleveland." And he goes, and then he said the city he lived in, and I was like, "That is like 10 minutes away from me." So, like, yeah, and then that's how our friendship started, and that's how I'm at his house right now. So
Yeah.
That's amazing.
this is
It
actually my first
is.
time at his house. Fun fact. Yeah,
It's like fate brought you guys together.
exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, so that was cool. And then Battlefront got dry like super fast, and like the community got a little toxic, and I was like, you know what, let's just try like some other things. And I was like, we'll try Call of Duty for a little bit. I loved Black Ops 3 Zombies when it first came out, so we did that for a little bit, got a little following from there. And then I was like, when Star Wars Squadrons comes out, like that's what our return to Star Wars. I played Squadrons once for 5 hours. And I've never played it again. That has to be one of the worst games I've ever played. But yeah, it's still in the box at home. I didn't even bring it to school with me this year. Yeah, I was like, I'm not taking this. But yeah, so then I was like, let's just try to focus on Call of Duty multiplayer a little bit because Spencer, whatever Skirata is or whatever. But yeah, all that Call of Duty stuff. And then I played World War II for a little bit because I know it wasn't popular with a lot of people, but I really loved that game. And then I was really, really bad at multiplayer. Oh my goodness, it was awful. And Tevin can attest to this because he would come into the streams and he'd just be like giving me all of these tips and stuff. And I was using like a site on the PPSH, and he almost disowned me for that.
Oh my god!
I don't belong on SMGs.
Yeah, he's like, that was don't belong on SMGs. I'm like, fine, I'll take it off. I'm like, whatever. So
it was fun because like, you had like the biggest like objection to your why I kind of like it. And I was like, no. I was like, dude, just trust me. Don't do it. Like, just take it off.
Yeah.
And then finally, he's like, oh, okay,
it's nice. Yeah. So yeah, started going with that, and I got like really like into it. And I already had Modern Warfare, I just didn't play it because once again I was really bad at it. So I started playing that, and I really really liked Shipment and all that. So I started playing Shipment a lot, and then that's when I really started getting into it. I was like, you know what, this is great. So obviously Cold War got announced. It got announced with Zombies as well because I'm a Zombies guy. That's mainly what I play on my streams, and so I was really excited with that, but I focused on multiplayer for a little bit, and I was like, you know what, like Cold War multiplayer is just kind of not, it wasn't fun at first, and I was like, okay, let's just go on the Zombies, and I loved it. It was just like, it wasn't like classic Zombies, but then, like you get used to it, and I started like Camel grinding, and that was like my thing, like level grinding, and That was fun. Yeah. So that's really like how I got into it. That's like the recap of the last almost 2 years. So
Oh, that's nice. It sounds very eventful.
yeah, it's just a fun ride so far, and just like the people I met. Obviously, like I met you guys, and had a little stint with a little org of my own, but like we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, it's been a fun ride so far.
So, how did you handle the transition from Star Wars to Call of Duty, like viewership wise, and just your mental towards it and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I was worried about it. That was really like my first like switch over because I was pulling maybe 35 to 40 people for Star Wars each day,
Mhm.
and you know, I was really focused on numbers at the time, and I was like, "Oh, this is great! Like, we can push for partner maybe in a year." And I was like, "Yeah." So I was kind of worried about that switch, but I just really want to have fun, so that's what I kind of like focused on. So when I switched over, viewership definitely went down. We went down to about 8 to 10 people. But then like it was actually kind of like it motivated me just to build another community and just keep going with that and just meet new people. I saw it more of as an opportunity than a burden.
Mhm.
So I mean that's the
Good,
best
yeah.
advice. Yeah, that's the best advice I can give to anybody. Because like I just went through that again a few weeks ago before I took my month break. Because like zombies was getting a little bland for me. Treyarch didn't really. Zombies was great for Cold War, but they didn't really do a lot for us, like content wise. So
Right.
I was like, I went to other games, and obviously that was a big drop off. I played a little bit of Stardew Valley, which is super fun, chill game. I did a half of playthrough through the Spider-Man PS4 game, and I went back to Battlefront for a little bit too. But like, obviously you're gonna see it drop because people like watching the games, which is no problem. But yeah, then I took my break because I felt like I was like spiraling out of something. For those of you who don't know, I'm in my last semester of college. I'm student teaching in a fourth grade classroom, um, and I had a capstone, which is a biggest project of college, and really determines if I'm going to become a teacher or not. So I had that coming up, and it was just so overwhelming for things. I'm like, I have to drop something to get
Mhm.
everything done, and I was like, like streaming's got to go for a little bit. And I wasn't really enjoying it too much either. So I was like, I'm gonna take a break, and I gotta explain to people like it's not them, it's me. So I just recently came back last week. So
Yeah. Did you, when you took your break, was that like, did you know it was just going to be a break, or did you think that you were just going to be done with streaming?
I didn't know. That's why I tweeted like a whole long message, but
Mhm.
I said like I don't know how long I'm gonna be gone or if I'm even gonna come back, but like I said for now, it's like not goodbye, see you later, because I still plan to
Right.
be around and like say hi to everybody, but
Right.
I just needed some time to like take to
Yeah.
myself and just figure out what I wanted to do.
Yeah. And when you came back, you got all the
Oh
support
yeah.
back, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I went into the mentality of like it would be almost like starting over,
Mhm.
which would be okay. I didn't really expect a lot because when I left, I had about like 10 people in chat. When I was like, I wasn't
Right.
expecting that, and not like the numbers matter. I don't really care about that because
Right.
I love streaming, but it's not like a priority.
Mhm.
I still do it every day, but it's not like a priority for me.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I came back and then like off the bat, like 25, 30 people are there. And I was just like, wow. I was like, this is kind of cool.
I
You know?
missed ya.
Yeah. I mean, I missed you guys too. This is like, and like this last week it was just amazing. And, I'm very grateful and thankful for everyone, like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for, everyone else. So,
Right.
you know,
What
Right,
do you
because
think?
a lot of people, oh, sorry, Tevin.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
A lot of people take that break and they think, okay, this is where I'm going to work on myself. And even when they think about coming back, they
mhm,
think about the numbers, and the numbers get
mhm.
in their head. And do you have any advice for people when they think about, oh, if I come back, no one's going to watch me. What's the point of coming back?
Don't don't turn your viewer count on. Like that's
Yeah.
like I promise you, if you're checking your viewer count like every 5 minutes, you're not gonna have a good time because you're gonna be focused on that instead of the people who
Mhm.
are actually there to watch you. If there's only 5 people there to watch you, there's 5 people there to watch you.
Yeah.
They're there for you, and then like take notes of those people because they're the ones that are gonna be your ride or dies.
Yep.
Like I'm looking at chat, I see Radish and Craven, those two of my mods. Um, you know, they've been there for me since the beginning. You know,
Wow.
and even during my break, you know, we text all the time. We still gamed, but like I was just like I didn't want to be live.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
That's
so
amazing that they even like come through to here and like watch you
mhm.
on the podcast and stuff. That's
Yeah,
really supportive of them. That's
yeah, I
awesome.
love those guys, and it's not just them, but like the whole
Right.
community is just
Yeah.
very thankful for them.
That's awesome.
So, what would you say is the biggest difficulty about coming back so far?
Finding time to stream. No, really. I got a packed schedule. I wake up at 6 in the morning every day. I leave at 7. I don't come back until about 3:30 or 4, and then, you know, I still got lesson plans, and you know, they require journal entries for, you know, student teachers. But I think just finding time. I try to get in a solid 2.5, 3 hours each day. But yeah, I think that's really the most difficult since like I'm not too worried about streaming right now, like where it's gonna take me, because I know like there was like one point I was like maybe I can make this a full-time thing and have like a sub position as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But when that reversed during like when I realized during my break like that should reverse, I should say. It's more fun now for me because I'm not really
Mhm.
worried about it. You know, it's just like it feels. Before I took my break, it felt more like a chore, and now it feels like a fun, like
Like
it
a
feels like a
hobby
fun
again?
time. Yeah, it feels like a hobby. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's how everyone should go into it. Even if this is going to be your job, just go
Mhm.
into it thinking like, hey, I'm just gonna have fun with it. Whoever shows
Mm-hmm.
up, we're gonna have a good time, and just put on a show. Even if you have 0 to 1 to 2 people in your chat, put on a show
Right.
because you never know if that one person's gonna come in and be like, oh, look at this guy, and then that spreads. You know,
Mhm.
that's how it works. You know.
Yeah. Now, I know you said it's hard to find, like, trying to find the time to stream. And like you said, sometimes you stream for 2 to 3 hours. Do you
Mhm.
think it matters how long you stream for in
Absolutely not.
order to, like, keep up I can't say the fucking word,
Consistent.
consistency?
Yeah. I think if you set your expectations like that, like keep that consistency, like definitely stream, like have a schedule, because then
Mhm.
people will be looking forward to that. Don't keep them on like on the edge, like, oh, if he's gonna stream. It is unfortunate because like people who come by like later, they're just kind of like, you know, oh, I missed you. I'm like, oh, it's fine. And even if you want to like reach different audiences, you can just like switch days. Like I think I might start implementing like later streams 2 days a week instead of just coming back and setting it up. But yeah, I mean, just do what's best for you. Seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have another You
Nope.
looked like you were going to ask a
Nope.
question. I was like, I don't want to talk over you.
Nope. Go ahead.
So obviously with streaming there comes a lot of technology issues.
Mhm.
We've experienced our own issues where
Oh god.
we get ready to start up the podcast and like Tevin's audio completely messes up. His
That's
camera
my
will go out.
camera.
My internet goes out like 10 minutes prior and I couldn't get it back on. How many times have you had to deal with that when you're streaming? Any kind of issues?
I will say, I haven't really had a lot of like internet issues.
No, must be
Um,
nice. Gosh, Justy.
we did have some instances where like I had an old roommate where his girlfriend would just unplug the internet for no reason while I was streaming. Yeah, I kicked them out of the house actually. Well, that's another story. Like
Instant breakup, dude.
yeah,
Man.
that's a story for if I'm ever on the podcast again. That's a whole other episode.
Oh,
But
goodness.
I've had that happen. I've had instances where like at home, like if we have too many people using the internet, like the bit rate goes down, but that's it. And just like it looks worse quality, but I'll still go. What else? I have this really awful habit. Like every 3 or 4 months, I'll change my overlay because I get bored of it. And I'll just change it just for a new scenery. I always forget to put my microphone as a source. And I'll always like start up and I'm just talking. I'm like telling what we're gonna do in the stream. And everyone's just like, dude, we can't fucking hear you. Just like- and I was like, shit, you know.
Oh, technical difficulties are the worst.
For
Yeah.
real.
So that just happens, and then I have a stream deck as well, and sometimes that stream decks are great. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes like I'll press a button and then like I forget what button I'm pressing, and then like a sound comes out of nowhere. And it's just like, it's like, dang it.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
yeah, but I can't really think of any like
In-
extreme
in-
difficulties. There would be sometimes like Tevin, I think you experienced this one time where I would just like boot up the stream and like it goes to like 60 or 70% drop frames for
Mhm.
no reason. Yeah, and I'll
Oh
just
my
like look at
God.
it. Yeah, I'll just like look at it and for like no reason, like it just go to 60, 70, and like I'll just like, yeah, okay. And I'll just try the next day and it's like fine.
Right.
And I have no idea why, but it's whatever.
Oh my
But
God.
It's so discouraging having technical difficulties. Like it's
Yeah.
something so little, but it's something that impacts the stream so much that you're like, it's truly just annoying. Is all it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's like audio, video, or whatever. Like it was like our second episode. We went to start the stream. Everything was fine. We sat here talking for like 30 minutes and like, all right,
Yep.
let's go. And they're like, as soon as they did that, my camera just went off, and I was like, what's going on? And they're messaging me that, hey, your camera's off. I'm like, I know. They're like, your camera's off. I'm like, I know. They're like, we'll turn it on. I'm like, it's not turning on. That's the problem. And so like
Yeah.
I like booted up like Streamlabs, I booted up literally everything else, and fine. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like panicking, and I'm like, I restarted my whole PC. Everything,
Yeah.
just turn it off, turn it back on.
Yeah,
And
that's really what you gotta do is turn
thankfully I
it
came
back
back.
on.
But
Yeah, I came on.
Yeah.
It was just me. I was like, I'm not ready for this. Just like throw me out there.
that was one of the best intros because Lainie's like, hi.
I was literally like, I thought I was gonna throw up because I'm like, okay, I know I start out the intro a lot, but I at least have Tevin there, like as like support. And then
What I
when
do?
he's
What I do?
not
What I
there,
do?
I'm like, how do I do this? What do I say? I completely blacked out.
There are some times where like technical difficulties are funny. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but sometimes like I'm on for Spencer, so I'm in his chat often.
Oh,
Sometimes his camera just freezes at the most like inconvenient moments. He's like mid blink or mid talk. He's like, and I'll catch on, and he doesn't notice, and we're like talking to him. We're like, Spencer, like it's your camera, and he's just like talking to himself playing the game because he never checks chat. But
And it's funny because Spencer has like one of the most like not non-emotional but more monotone looking faces where he just doesn't show a lot of emotion. So like anytime it freezes, his face will freeze in like the weirdest looking faces. I was like, oh my God, this is why I love it.
yeah, it's great though. But technical difficulties, like it can be so
Mhm.
discouraging. It's just like,
Oh yeah. I know. I'll be like, before I had the whole, like, I did, a lot of people know I did the mental health stream.
Mhm.
Leading up to that mental health stream, I was in the mindset of worrying about like views and the numbers and all of that. And my internet, as we know recently, it is crap, and pray to God nothing happens. And I had a really good stream where I had like maybe 25 viewers, and I never get that many viewers. So I was so excited. I was hype and everything, and internet crashed. I came back as fast as I could, and they were all gone. And I was like,
it's the worst.
and then I had to take myself back. I'm like, oh God, here I go. Now I'm putting myself in the mindset that I don't want to be in. Then, of course, streams after that, I'm thinking, is it going to happen again? Like, this is going to happen all the time. It's happened multiple times. And am I going to keep losing these people because they're not going to wait around for me, or they're just going to be like, oh, fuck this. Like,
Yeah.
she's taking too long or something. So yeah, it really does mess with you mentally, even as much as you try to not think about the numbers or think about the next time it's going to happen. It happens, and it kills your motivation to do anything.
It really does, and you're just like it hurts, like knowing sometimes there's like no solution for it either. Like sometimes like I said before, I forget to add my microphone source. You can do that legit in like 5 seconds, but like if your internet's acting up, I mean, I don't know, Lainie, I heard you kicked your router or something and that works.
I did.
Like sometimes I'm not all the case because I'll check like I'll go to like speed.com or something, or like fast.com, and it'll be like, oh, you're at 200 Mbps. I'm like, then why is it not working?
Yeah, that's what I have. I have speed test on my computer to check it before I stream, before I do anything. I check the speed test, and it'll be working great. And then just randomly, it'll go out. And I check with, And I know it's not my family because I have 3 other people that live in this house. They're on the internet like crazy too. And they've all known to just take their phones off of the Wi-Fi. So that's an extra 3 devices that are off of Wi-Fi. Plus, the only other things hooked up to Wi-Fi or internet is like my PlayStation, the PC, and then their PC.
Right.
So I'm like, where is this internet going if everything's working fine? We don't have that many devices hooked up. It's just things that you can't even figure out. And kicking my router worked, I guess. I don't know what the heck that did, but
there is this option on OBS I did find though, where you can click on it and you can go live without going live. So like you can see how like your like CPU is, your bit rate, and your internet connection is before you start streaming. And I just start using that because I'm using university internet, so it's not always the best.
Right.
Yeah, I'll tell you, my setup at school, I have a dresser, I have a small desk, just combined together. I have 1 Ethernet port in my room, so I use that for my PC. And I got this 50-foot cord that I got permission from my roommate to run through the apartment to his room to use his Ethernet port.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's a jank setup. I definitely like my setup in Cleveland a lot better.
Yeah,
but it's a mess right now. I got wires everywhere. I'm tripping every morning.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's worth it though.
Oh man, I know, and I know I'm known for the microphone issues too. Like when I had taken a short break, a couple weeks ago, I took a short break. I was in a car accident, and I had so much shit going on that I took a break. And when I came back, my audio was out for like the first half of the stream. And no one was saying anything. So I was like thinking, okay, I'm doing good. Like, this is great. I have people here. And everyone left and no one said anything until the people I was gaming with were like, hey, you have no audio in your stream. I'm like, well, what the hell? Like, how long has this been going on? And that does kind of kill your mode. Like, when you think of that, like, sometimes people don't say anything and they just give up and they leave. So it's like,
they be having their own conversations in chat.
Yeah.
Like, oh, by the way, we couldn't hear you for the last 30 minutes.
Like, oh, you didn't notice? Like,
oh my god, thanks. Because like also sometimes I put my stream in if I'm playing PC games, because my PC cannot handle or Streamlabs cannot handle when I play PC games, it drops frames. So I put my stream in performance mode. And when you do that, you can't see like how you normally see your audio levels like moving, showing that there's audio coming through. You can't see that when it's in performance mode. So I didn't know that there was no audio coming through until I took it out and I was like, okay, yep, everything's muted. Nothing's hooked up.
That's great.
It was the best.
Internet issues are the worst.
Oh yeah.
The absolute worst. Like I just did our charity stream.
And
then I think I liked probably the entire time I was streaming it, and I was just like not having fun. I'm like trying to smile because it's a charity. I'm like, but inside I was like, this is the worst experience ever in the world.
And it's like the worst timing too.
Yeah, and that's the most annoying part is like when you speed test too while doing it, and everything comes back fine, and you're like, then why is this happening? What is going on? And then we ended stream, and I did it right back up, and it was like fine, and I was like, yeah. It's just annoying. Yeah. You're just like, okay, it was meant to happen, whatever.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't lagging when I was watching it. It wasn't lagging for me that much. Like you kept saying you were like it looked like you were lagging, and I was like, I don't see all this lag that he's talking about. It lagged here and there, but it was like little normal stuff that was just common. It wasn't like it was
anything crazy.
Every 5 minutes you were lagging.
Nope. It was like packet loss, and like so it got to the point where I turned it on actually, like the little monitoring thing that you could do on PC.
Yeah.
And it's like it'd be 0 until 75%. And then it'd like go back and then 75%. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I never broke my legs so much in Warzone before. I was getting so mad. And like if people know like I rage in my streams, and so I'm like, this is like the team channel. I'm trying not to rage. I'm getting so irritated.
I'm fine. Like,
it's like that gif like with the dog with the fire all around him. He's like, this is fine. It's okay. And I'm like, yeah, but internally I was like fuming, like, oh, it was so bad.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I guess kicking my router helped my internet like kick on. no issues for an entire week. I'm like, all right, I guess we're doing weekly kicks to the router.
You literally kicked it?
I literally kicked it. I got so pissed. We didn't have to pay for it because it's through our internet, the cable company or whatever. So I had already fought with them over the phone because we had issues when they hooked up the internet. They hooked it up. They wired it wrong. And they had like the wrong wirings going in our house. And the splitters were wrong. It was weird. And I'm like, okay, you guys aren't charging me for this next time you guys have to come out. You're also giving me a router because this is bullshit. They got us a new router. They got us new wiring. They got us new splitters. Everything was working great. Then, of course, months later, it started going out. So we got a new router again through them. Still kept going out. And I called them. I was like, listen, this is the 5th time I've dealt with you guys. I'm either going to throw this router out the window or you guys are going to come replace it and check the wiring. Came out, checked the wiring. They said, oh, no, it's fine. It's great. It's whatever. They gave us a new router. This fucking router went out again like a day later. And I just set it on the ground. And I was so irritated. And I just went, fuck this. And I kicked it. And my dad was like, well, great. Now it's not going to work at all. I was like, well, let's see. So I just hooked it up. Internet came on like within
the best
seconds.
it's ever been.
I'm like, what the heck happened here? Is that all I need to do with this stuff is just kick it to get it like working? It was funny though, because my dad's like, damn, I guess that works. It was
So
great.
just kick it.
Yeah, it worked for me, but it's probably not going to work in the long run. It's not going to work anymore.
So, with the horror of technical difficulties as well, for spooky season, Justy, it is known that you are a paranormal investigator as well.
Yes.
And we would love to hear some of your best experiences that you've had while investigating.
Believe it or not, my best experiences are in my own house that I still live in now.
What?
So yeah, I've been to like some places, been to some abandoned places, one forest. And I was really looking forward to going to this one place in January, but they canceled on me because COVID was getting bad again. Mm-hmm. Licking County Jail, if you guys have ever heard of that. I was supposed to go there, but never did.
Is it?
It's a old jail now. It's like an old jail, but it's like used for tourist stuff now, but they allow like private stuff.
Oh.
Okay. But yeah, so just a little background. I've always lived with ghosts in my house. Like even when I used to live in my old house when I was a kid, I used to like, I don't remember this. I remember like a little bit of it, but I was like 3 when we moved out of there, 3 or 4. And my parents would say like, I used to like point in the corner and go like, oh, there's Robert. And they're like, oh, who's Robert? And then like maybe like a few days later, I'd be like, oh, Bobby's in here. Like what 3-year-old knows like Robert and Bobby are like the same name?
Oh,
you know,
God. Replace the kid.
But yeah, we also had like babysitters who wouldn't come back at that house. And yeah, and like there was like one time like they were babysitting like me and my brother sit in the kitchen like doing homework or something, and like literally everything like flew off of the fridge at once, like all the magnets, all the papers, and like everything. And she was like she called my parents. She's like, can you like come home like now? Like I'm like terrified to be in here. So yeah, that's all like I really heard from that house though. Then we moved to the house I'm in now, and like that was maybe almost 17 years ago, I think. How old am I now? Yeah, 17 years ago. And off the bat, it was just like things started happening there. And one of the most are known ghosts, I've talked about this many times on streams. We have a little boy that will run around and stuff, and we've seen him on multiple occasions, like throughout every single year we've been there. We've seen him at least once. And there was like a few years where like he would come around a lot, and he would like appear to like my mom. My mom would see him so clear. There was one night me and my mom had like the same exact dream about him in the same night. And then I would see him as well. Like one day I woke up and he's just like standing at like the foot of my bed. That was terrifying. Usually I don't like mind seeing him because I'm like used to it. But like that day I was just like, I don't want to wake up and see you there. Oh
God.
Yeah. But
so
go ahead.
how'd you go about like discovering their identities? Like, was it from them telling you, or did you go into like actually investigating around their house?
So we would hear like in our dreams, like the words like Mick something would come up, like MC, like we never knew the rest of the name, and we always like that was always ingrained in our heads. So we knew like we had a feeling it started like that. So we did some digging. We went to like the town historical society, and we picked up some like the old like property lines during like the mid 1800s and stuff. And we would look, and on the house where Maya is now lived the McNeese family. So we looked through the census, and there was a boy that died at 8 years old, Dwight McNeese, who was still buried in one of the cemeteries in the city.
Oh.
And once we found out his name, things started happening a lot more. And that was like crazy. Like we started seeing him a lot more. The cabinets started opening.
They say that happens when you uncover like the
Uh-huh.
death and their actual identity. They start to come through more.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
but he was never bad, you know.
Right.
He was just curious.
Mhm.
To the point
He's a kid.
where, yeah. So we would hear him run around. He would like tug on our shirts. There'd be times I was sleeping and I just feel like on my forehead, straight up, like just feel like
You
this
live?
on my forehead. No, I just like wake up. I'm like, it's like, all right, I'm awake now. But yeah, we would see him.
Oh my gosh.
He's still around. But there was this one point where my junior year of college, I got a little too comfortable with him being around.
Mhm.
That was like my family was kind of going through like a fall through, and I feel like he knew what was going on, which was weird because like I would feel him in my room, but like I felt comfortable with it.
Mhm.
I got a little comfortable with him because he actually got attached to me and he came to school with me. And I remember Cheyenne, my girlfriend, she was spending the night. She goes to the bathroom and she comes back just sprinting in my room. And I'm in an apartment 150 miles away. And she goes, I just saw Dwight on your couch, like sitting, staring at her. And I was like, what? And I was like, there's no way. And she was like straight up, she's like about to cry. She's like, that's the first time she's ever seen a ghost, but not the last time. I'll get to that later.
I have freaking goosebumps right now.
Yeah, like she saw him, like he was literally just sitting like this, like staring at her on the couch. And she said she thought she was seeing something because it was like 2-3 in the morning. But like she looked back and he was still there. So it wasn't like a play in the eyes. Like he was still there.
Wow.
So yeah, that was one of the crazier moments. And then I saw him in the apartment as well a week later. And I was like, all right, well, I like straight up told him, like, this might sound weird. I might sound like a psycho. I'm like, all right, you're going to come back to the house with me when we go back and you're going to stay there. And I don't know how that worked, but.
Yeah, you're setting boundaries. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, you can do that. I mean, I don't mind you being here, but just don't like mess with us.
Right.
Especially when Shy is still new to this stuff because she's never had this experience, you know.
Yeah.
I've dealt with it my entire life, but she's never really seen this stuff before.
Right.
But yeah. So he still comes around every so often. We thought there was a situation where when my parents were separated, my dad was with a lady, and we thought she saged the house. Because we didn't have an activity for maybe a year, which was really weird because we usually have like 3 or 4 spirits in the house.
Right.
So yeah, that's really about the boy. I do have some pictures of him. We've gotten I think 3 pictures of him. One was in a video where my mom was taking a video of my dog, and he was in the video in like literally like 2 frames. And we screenshot it, and he's like reaching towards the camera behind the couch. You can see his face. You can see his hand. I think I showed Spencer the video before. The picture. I'll send it to you.
If you have, you'll have to send that to us so we can either post that on the Skirata page and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh
So
God.
I'll find them. There's another one where there was this was weird. So this was one day, we were remodeling our living room. So we moved everything up to our family room. And one thing about ghosts is that they do not like change. They hate change. So when change starts going on a lot, there's going to be a lot more activity, which is the reason why I thought like when my family was going through that whole thing, I think that's why he came around a lot more. there was an instance, me and my brother were home alone watching some TV, and my dog like wakes up and he just like starts staring through the rungs of our railing there at the corner near our mirror. And I'm just like, I'm like, Kenny, what are you looking at? And he's just like not budging. And usually like he used to be a guide dog, so he knows his name, he knows when to turn. He was just not budging. He was just looking straight out there. I start snapping pictures. All the pictures are blank except one you see a kid standing in the corner. Mm-hmm.
Hell no.
Yeah, you see a kid standing in the corner. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I still have that one too. And there was this one day, the last time I got a picture of him, this scared the crap out of me because I was watching one of those like ghost shows as well. I'm like taking I'm just like laying on my couch taking Snapchats. I take one and this little shit standing behind me in the picture.
Oh,
And I'm just like you don't see his face or anything. You just see the outline of a kid just like
Oh my God.
just standing behind me. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me right now. And my dad's like, I showed my dad. I'm like, Dad, I think I just got Dwight on my phone again. He's like, you're scared of the show. I'm like, no, look. And he's like, oh.
he's like,
So,
Oh my God.
he is there.
yeah, he saw it too. So that's really all the stories about him.
Yeah.
There was, I will tell, this is one of the scariest moments that's ever happened to me. Was a one and done thing. This happened once in my house. It's never happened again. Weirdest thing ever. It was a couple summers ago, and me and Shy and my dad were hanging out in the kitchen. We're just talking. It's about maybe 10:30, 11 at night. And we're just talking, and I'm like, we hear singing upstairs. And we're just like sitting there, and we just hear like a girl singing voice, you know? And I'm like, this is like weird. I'm getting goosebumps like talking about it again because this is just
I'm getting
this was a
freaked
weird
out.
night. Yeah. So we just hear we hear singing upstairs, and obviously I'm like trying to still like keep it going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, do you hear that? And Shai's like, yeah. And then of course my dad's like, what is it? And I'm like, Dad, shut up. And like, of course it stops. And like Shai got too freaked out, so she went home. And then I was like, Dad, like I have like IR cameras, and I have these things called dowsing rods, which is used to find water flow, but they can also use electromagnetic energy to cross and stuff. So I got my cameras. I have this all on video, by the way. So everything I'm describing is also on video. So I'm like, Dad, let's go upstairs. Let's check it out. And it was in his room. We walk in there, and it just feels so heavy. It just felt like someone just grabs you and is just like strangling you. And it just felt dark. It was already dark, but it felt like dark in there.
Yeah.
You know? And I was just like, what is going on here? So like, goosebumps. So we're just standing there, and I'm starting to ask it questions because I know for a fact, I'm like, this is not the kid. Like, this is someone else.
Yeah.
What happened next? So I'm asking his questions. My dad's recording me, and you just see like orbs everywhere, like the balls of light. You just see these things go everywhere, and you can tell what's dust and what's not.
Oh yeah.
So like it's super dusty in there, but like you could tell like defined like dust. I mean defined like light going everywhere. And my dad's just so chill about it. He's like, yeah, there's a lot of things moving around you. And I'm like, thanks for telling me that.
Thank you.
So I'm using the dowsing rods to ask yes or no questions to it. And I go, are you a boy? And it doesn't cross. And ask if you're a girl, and it crosses. I'm like, this is weird because we've never had a girl in the house.
Right.
And I was like, were you singing earlier? Crosses for yes. And I was like, oh my God, like this is like crazy. And after that, I asked, should we be scared of you? Nothing. It actually went the opposite direction to indicate no. Then I asked, are you scared of us? And it crossed. And I thought that was really interesting. And I was like, this is kind of weird. I think this is a newer person that's not used to people.
Yeah.
And then I asked, did you live in the house? Because I was thinking maybe it was one of the old owners. Nothing happened. And I asked, did you live on the property? It crossed. And as I asked that question, you see something behind me move into the mirror in his room. Yeah, on the camera.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
no.
yeah. And then that was just really dark. And we didn't know that happened until we went back. We watched the video. And once we left the room, we felt like fine. You
Mhm.
know, we were in my
Right.
room, we're looking at the video, we're just watching it. We see the orbs. That's nothing. That's nothing new. But when we saw that thing, like this weird, like it wasn't even like a figure. It was just like it looked like a hand almost. It was
Right.
just like it just like glided down into the mirror. It didn't look like dust. We couldn't explain it. That scared the crap out of us. And we walked by, and then like my dad was just like he started freaking out like when we walked past the room. So like naturally, I'm like yelling at it. So I'm like you gotta go like right now.
Right.
And then the next day and every day after that, it's never felt like that ever again. And that was
Oh my
just
God.
I'd never experienced something like that ever. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
because mirrors are actually portals.
Mhm.
And like I did a stream for one of my Fright Night talks, and there's an app called Necrophonic, which it's like a
Mhm.
spirit box. You can like talk
Mhm.
and you get like radio frequency and words come through and stuff.
Mhm.
And I have 3 fucking mirrors in my room that all
Mhm.
face my bed. So and I was looking it up, and it was saying how mirrors are portals, especially when they're facing each other. They're portals
Mhm.
as well. And it
Yeah.
makes like the portal stronger. But a
Mhm.
mirror alone, they say that's why you're not supposed to stare at yourself, like stare yourself in the eyes in a mirror, because that
Mhm.
also is like a portal for spirits to actually come through to you.
Yeah.
And if you're in a room that's supposedly haunted or with a
Mhm.
spirit, it makes that spirit able to go from, even if they didn't live there previously, they can go through that mirror and go to another
Mhm.
house or another part of the house and stuff.
Right.
And it's super freaking scary.
Yeah. And there's an attic in my brother's room. If you take off a piece of the wall, there's like we use that for storage.
Mhm.
We think that's a portal as well.
Yeah.
Because my brother was like sleeping once and he woke up and like he sees like this 7-foot thing just like staring at him like around the corner, and then just goes right back into that part. So I think that's like a portal too.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was one like that part in the room was like one of one of the freakiest moments. Another moment that happened was actually a couple. When was it? I think it was like over last summer actually. It just felt weird. Like there was like something in there that shouldn't be.
Mhm.
In the same room?
No. This was like in the whole house now.
Oh.
So like it didn't feel like awful, but like it just felt like it wanted to be around. But
Right.
there was like this one instance where I was home alone for a week. I was like, I think my dad was in Chicago helping my brother with something. And I had to like, okay, I got to backtrack actually. Me and Shy was over almost every day. Like she slept over almost every day in the summer, and she
Mhm.
wakes up and just starts screaming, like blood curling screaming. She's like, Justin, you have to wake up right now. There's someone in your room. And I wake up, I don't see anyone. She says like there was like someone staring at her, like at the foot of the bed. And she said it wasn't a little kid because she's seen Dwight before. She's like, that was not a kid.
Oh my God.
And I was like, holy crap. I tweeted about it. Actually not too long after it happened.
Mhm.
Cause like she was freaked out. Like she did not like how that was going, and she would not stay in the house. Like till this day, we still like have like lights on when she sleeps over.
Mhm.
She's like, she'll keep the TV on. But
Right.
like, yeah, she freaked out, and like that was it for her. And so like after that, it just felt weird in the house. Like he made his presence known, so like we knew he was there. So
Mhm.
like he started just messing with us a little bit, and I was home alone. I'm waiting in the kitchen, and all of a sudden it just gets cold, and I'm just like, oh god. I'm like, I know what's coming next. I hear we got like 3 steps leading from the living room to the kitchen. I hear
Right.
it, and then I just feel this thing like right in front of me, and I'm just like, no! I just start screaming like, you are not gonna do that. And I was like, I'm just waiting for my pizza to be made, and I don't want to be scared right now.
I
I'm
just want
hungry.
my
I'm just
pizza.
trying to eat right now.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
I was like, I just want some peace for once. So yeah, I was just like, I was so upset about it, and
Oh my God.
because like I was like,
No.
you're not gonna scare us. I don't care you're here, but you're not gonna mess with me anymore. And like
Yeah.
I was not having it, and then I turned on every light in the house because I was like, it genuinely scared me. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I wasn't used to this one, and I was like, but it was like whatever.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen him or whatever in a while. I do feel like when I'm home, like more stuff happens because I connect more. My dad has never had like an experience. Oh, I
Right.
lied. He has. He's seen something like move from one side of the room to the next. But like other than that, he's
Right.
never had experiences. Me and my mom have had most of them.
Right.
But yeah, that's basically the overview from some of the places I've gone to. I would say most of it's kind of like what they show you on, like what they talk about is like mostly BS because I've never I've had more experiences in my house than some of these places.
Yeah.
Like I've been to like this one like part of the woods in Cleveland that's like the most haunted woods, and like I got scared by a deer and that was it. And like yeah, and I was like some of it's kind of like BS, but like
Yeah, they over exaggerate it.
oh yeah, and yeah. But yeah, I just like some of the experiences in my house. And Shy always goes, she's like, we're going to ask about ghosts in the house before we move into one. And I'm just like, okay. Sure. Like,
oh, is this place haunted or not?
yeah, it's like, what?
Oh, God.
But,
Has there been any instances where you've had like call anyone in, or do you guys
no.
just kind of just?
No, I basically just call like it's never been like violent before.
Right.
Okay.
It's just been like surprisings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been like surprises, and you know, I've never really felt like anything bad has ever been in the house. I do have some friends that live. I have a friend that actually lives in Salem, Massachusetts, and she's had some crazy like things there where she's like been scratched and stuff.
I've heard some wild things of just like people that just live in Salem. Like there's so many things out there.
Yeah,
oh
so I have a friend that
gosh.
lives in there, and she just like it's just like a normal occurrence for her. It's like, yeah, I got scratched. I'm like,
That's normal.
You say so. But yeah, I think that's really we've had some weird like we smelled perfume sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just like random stuff like that. Most of it's really the boy though. Like he just messed with us. He just like opened the cabinet. When my great grandmother died, she kind of made her presence known there for a little bit before. I think she moved on after that. But other than that, I just I can't really think of anything else.
Is Dwight the only one that comes back mainly? Or
yeah, he's the only one that comes back every year.
Okay.
It's good that you set a boundary with Dwight, even like if you didn't know the history of the deaths and stuff and of Dwight, when you set boundaries, because obviously demonic spirits, they can show themselves as a child, they can show themselves as a woman, they can show themselves however they want, just to get attached to you, and then that's how they get to you, and that's how, like when you were saying Dwight was following you outside of the house, when you put that boundary on them, they can't do anything. They can't cross that boundary. So even if Dwight wasn't actually this 8-year-old child and it was a demonic spirit imitating him, knowing the history or whatever, and it was attaching to you, that's like the steps to it, like attaching and possessing, then it just gets worse from there. And then you're going to be on Exorcist. So
it was just weird getting attached, like getting Dwight attached to me. That was kind of weird, but
it's like he's a little kid. He's just looking for like
he's just, and like, you know, he died so young. He died when he was 8, and it was just that was so sad when I heard. And we don't know how he died.
Right.
I think he might have maybe gotten sick or something, but
maybe
Have you ever tried to ask him about it?
Nah, I'm not really into like trying to ask questions. Like I only ask questions about one day because I don't want to open anything else up.
Yep.
You know, like don't like Ouija boards may sound cool. Don't use one. Don't just don't do it. It's bad.
My parents used one in this house when I was like 6 months old in my crib, literally in this room. They used one right below me, and that friggin' board is in the basement right below my bedroom to this day. And I say that's why I have creepy shit happen around my house all the time too. It's don't do it, kids. Please don't.
But yeah, I've had one experience at Shy's house actually. This was interesting. Her both of her grandparents are both of her grandpas are have passed away. And we were watching home movies once, and like it just like her grandpa was like on the screen, you know. I've never met him, but like I was like, oh, like he seems like a really nice guy, and then like it just felt like weird, and we heard like noises in the kitchen after that. And it was just like, I just felt like someone's like watching them with us. So that was a really cool experience, and like she started like crying or something. I don't know, but yeah, that was pretty cool. And Shy said she's always had like good experiences with them, until she met me. Bless her. But, she said when her when one of her grandpas died, she would find like these perfect black crosses, like around the house, made out of, I don't know what she said they were made out of, but she still has them. But like they're like these like perfect black crosses, and it's like Sicilian tradition, that when someone dies, that like they'll put those on their casket or something. And her grandpa was part Sicilian, so so that was really interesting.
Aw.
But
That's
I think
sweet.
that's really everything I can really think of right now. I do have some like small stories I can talk about, but other than that, there's just those are the big things.
Well,
I'm not concerned about it. I've never come across like anything mean. God
Right.
forbid if I do. I don't want that to happen. I've heard some really bad horror stories. I've seen some. There's this channel on YouTube called Nuke's Top 5.
Yep.
I watched me and Shai will watch them, and some of the stuff that they go on there, like you can kind of tell like what's fake and what's not. And some of the stuff, they're just like, holy crap, like they better get out of that house. But,
Well, definitely send those pictures to Spencer so he can get those on the Skirata Twitter.
Absolutely.
And we'll get those posted for everyone watching this live. And if you hear this recorded on all of our podcast platforms, you guys will be able to go check them out on our Twitter page. We will have those posted for you guys.
100%. Yeah.
It is that time. Sorry.
Sorry.
We are going to get some questions from chat. If you are watching this live, you can get your questions in right now. We're going to get those answered for you. In the meantime, while we wait for some questions to come in, if you guys aren't following yet, please go follow all of our podcast platforms. We are on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and we're pretty much everywhere. So if you have a podcast platform, look us up. You'll find us Beyond Streaming and follow us. And then you can listen to all of the episodes. First question is, have you ever seen a ghost just out in public, like where you weren't looking for or expecting one?
I don't think so. I don't really think I've ever seen one in public. I may have, but like I just kind of disregarded it. Oh no, that's a lie. Actually, I remember I was in my high school once, and I used to teach like lifeguard classes in our high school, and the base of our high school is actually like the original high school that's still there from like I think it was built like 18 something, but it's still there. And I've was walking past one of the original classrooms, and I see like this guy just sitting at a desk, and I was like, oh, like that's weird. And I look back, and there's just nothing there. And I was like, oh, okay, it could have been like my imagination or something like that. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah. I remember that.
Whew. That would be freaky.
Yeah.
Like I always think that because like I mean I've had stuff happen to me, but like, and I've never seen anything, but like sometimes you'll go out in public and you'll see like a quick glimpse of something, and you'll be like, wait a minute, like, what was that? Did I just see something that wasn't supposed to be seen? Yeah,
it really is like a life-changing experience when you do see something, though. I remember the first time I saw like Dwight, I was just like, well, that was interesting.
This is something.
Like, I wasn't scared because I knew he was around already, but like, because like I've seen him like open stuff and like things like I've heard the footsteps up and down the stairs. But did you
know anything else that happened with like the rest of his family, or was it just him that?
No, they're all buried together in the cemetery, but like I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I just know that.
Have you ever thought about going to the cemetery to visit it? Or is that like?
Yeah, I've been there before. Yeah,
so
we actually have a friend that was that's buried in there too. So we visited him, and then we visited Dwight's, and it was just weird because he's there, you know.
Yeah.
It was just
Like he's there, but he's with you.
Yeah, it only had year dates though. It didn't have his birthday, and it was like I forget the dates. It was like 18 something. But
oh wow.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It's so weird. Is your refrigerator running?
No, at school it's actually not. We had to get it fixed. We just put in a work order for it actually. So.
That worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, we walk out there and there's like water everywhere. I'm just like, Well, I guess we'll have to fix that.
No, so actually, no, it is not.
No. So the answer is actually no. It's no.
Yep.
It's not running right now.
Try again.
It's funny.
Do you still stream the game you were bigger on sometimes as a throwback?
Oh yeah, sometimes I would. Like before I took my break, I did some Star Wars Battlefront. So that was pretty cool. Just going back and getting that nostalgia of it again. It was still toxic as hell, but like it was just fun just to like mess around and just get some of the original people in there and just start playing. Yeah,
Right.
I probably still do. I do want to hit like more variety deep into Vanguard. I think I'm gonna focus on Vanguard and completing season 6 of Cold War before going into more variety. But yeah, I think I would definitely come back to it as well.
Do OG people do they request daily for you to go back and play Battlefront?
No, we'll mention it as a joke sometimes. Like we'll play Battlefront. I'm like, huh.
It's like a meme. It's just a meme.
Yeah. So yeah, it's basically a meme right now. But it's kind of cool because the OG people would play Battlefront. They would get the game I was playing sometimes, and they like those OG people would get the games I play and play with me still. So yeah, that was actually really interesting to see because some people are just like, and I did have these people like, are not playing Battlefront, unfollow. And it's like, okay. Yeah.
Not allowed to play other games, just Battlefront. All right, question from Spencer.
Who's that?
I don't know, some weird random guy, I guess. What would you like to see out of the next big Star Wars game?
I really want to see. Obviously, every Star Wars fan is gonna be like Battlefront 3, yay! No, I don't want that. I really, really want like an open world RPG game, kind of like KOTOR, but like a little like more like more action. You can like create your own like path, but like it's kind of like you guys know what EVE Online is?
Mm-hmm.
Like do like
I've
a
heard of it,
combination. Yeah, so like basically it's just a big exploration space game. If you don't know Tev, like have that and Star Wars put together, and just like I think that'd be really cool, and like have like a storyline in there too.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, I would love that, and just like put so much time into that. That'd be great.
Yeah. See. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get so much hate for this, but I've watched Star Wars, but I've never gotten into it. I can't get into it.
I have a Millennium Falcon tattoo, actually.
Oh my god!
Yeah, committed for life.
See, my cousin, he's super into Star Wars like that. Like he wants me to draw him the Death Star, so he can get that as a tattoo. And I'm like, what is the Death Star? And I'm like looking it up. I'm like, I didn't get that into it. Like I've watched them, but I didn't get that into it. Like,
yeah.
I'm just like, I'm sorry. I guess I'm just not that person.
It's not. I'll say it's not for everyone. Like I try to get.
Like I love watching the video games. I love watching people play the games because I'm like, okay, this is actually really cool. Like it's more interesting to me than the movies, I guess.
Yeah, I try to get shy in them, and then we finished watching The Force Awakens, which is only two movies left.
Yeah,
and she was like, okay. I mean, she knew what happened like in the originals and prequels, but she's never seen the sequels before. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. And she comes back, she's like, I looked up the ending. I'm like, you did what?
Ruin it.
He was like, I didn't know she was related to this person. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was so upset, dude. I was like, I'm not even kidding. I slept on the couch last night. I'm like, you can have my room. I'm out of here. And like the next morning, she's like, do you want to get breakfast? I'm like, no. And I was genuinely like mad at her. And
oh my goodness.
Just looked it up.
She was like, yeah, I looked up the ending. And I'm like, no. She does that all the time. And like, I love her to death. Shy, for watching this. I love you. But like, stop asking questions and guessing during movies. Like even when we were in the movie theater, we were like seeing Spider-Man Far From Home. And she was like, I bet Mysterio's a bad guy. Me knowing he's already a bad guy. And at the end, she's like, I called it. I'm like, what? Shut up.
That's the best. We got T. Tev. He would like for you to smile for him.
I love Tim.
He wants to see those pearly lights.
Hera, I love you more.
Oh, we love seeing all the love in chat.
Lainie, have you ever
seriously.
played with Hera?
No.
Okay. Customs are going to be fun with Tem and Hera there.
I'm out.
So,
I'm out.
yeah,
I'm out.
we don't need that energy. We are going over this.
That's right. We're gonna shit on
Justin, will
kids.
we ever see you in a Warzone Customs?
Okay, yeah. So here's the thing. I might test it out again because this hasn't happened to Spencer, but like I downloaded Warzone just to play with you guys,
Mhm.
and I go back. I shut it off, and I was gonna come back later that night to play with you guys. I come back on, and the game uninstalled itself.
Come on.
Maybe
I
it's just not meant
reinstall
to
it
be.
again.
Maybe
Reinstall
it's
it
just not
again.
meant to-
It's just not meant to be. So
Reinstall it again. Shut it off. Turn it back on. And it's gone again. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not wasting another hour. Just to waste my time.
it's just saying no. This you do not want to put yourself through this.
I might try it again. I do want to play customs with you guys. I want to get into Rebirth as well, but
I will
I
say
just-
customs is a lot of fun. Like as
yeah, it seems
sweaty
fun.
as it gets, sometimes it's a lot of fun. I've always had fun in them.
Yeah, it
Even when
seems
T
fun.
is like fucking crazy
love it.
goat. I'm like,
We love it.
I get scared when I just see his little character running around. I'm like, oh,
But yeah.
But Hera also
Hera.
asked, what are you most excited for with Vanguard coming out?
You know, I really like the beta. I know some people really hate about the beta. Trust me, I know some of you hate about the beta because my Twitter, I had to shut it off for a second because you guys were just not shut up about it. But I did enjoy the beta. I am looking forward to multiplayer. So you know that general thing, but like I'm not gonna take it seriously. But I'm also really looking forward to the new zombies experience they
Mhm.
announced, just because you know I'm a zombies guy.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like a smaller outbreak, kind of, which I'm all good for. And they're bringing back some like nostalgia apps, which apps. Oh my god, maps. From like World at War, which looks really cool.
Mhm.
So I can't wait to try that out. And plus, I just love. I'm a history nerd. I'm a social studies teacher, so like, obviously, I'm getting really excited about like the weapons and like
Yeah.
what they're gonna add in there. Because like, I loved World War II as well, just for like the aesthetic of like you know World War II.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm just like, I think what I'm most excited about is like having a new game to play.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, because you know I love Cold War Zombies, but like it just gets old. But like the way I plan out like streaming, I plan on to have like Vanguard days and Cold War days because you know it's just like to the point where Black Ops 3 is, excuse me for saying this, is kind of outdated for zombies, and it's just like a different system where Vanguard, where Treyarch took over zombies for Vanguard, and they're bringing back a similar system for that. I think it'll be cool just to go back and forth, and plus if I can level up my stuff on Cold War on Vanguard, why not? You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There we go.
Spencer asks top 3 COD zombies of all time.
Okay. So Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2 go 1 and 2. I can't put those in order. They're like the same for me.
Yeah.
Black Ops 3 was more of the gameplay. I love their gobblegum system and just the way the game felt in the gameplay was just great. But like Black Ops 2 had fantastic maps. So those are tied for me. So those are 1 and 2. And I would say 3 is Infinite Warfare Zombies. Yeah, Infinite Warfare Zombies was just there was something about it. It was just felt more of like an arcade, which was nice. So like, I really like
Right.
that. Mm-hmm.
What about maps? Do you have a top 3 maps of all time?
Yes, I do. So top one, my first one is Mob of the Dead, like the Alcatraz map. That is just not Blood of the Dead from Black Ops 4. I just kind of cut out Black Ops 4 zombies and pretend that didn't happen. But yeah, Mob of the Dead, Alcatraz, that map was just fantastic. When I got my PC, I downloaded the Black Ops 3 on my PC, so I get those custom maps
Mhm.
that they do for zombies, and they remastered that one and downloaded that right away, and I just have a blast with it. My second favorite is probably, this is gonna be a hot take, but Revelations from Black Ops 3. That was really good because that had like all the maps combined into one, so that was cool.
Mhm.
And then third, definitely Buried from Black Ops 2. That one's really good. Yeah, that one. I hope they remaster that one because that one just be that'd be great.
Lainie, did you play zombies at all?
Not until BO4. Like, this is gonna sound really like pansy of me, but BO3, I tried zombies. Like all of the CODs, I never played multiplayer until BO4 because I always was like the person that got the game, grinded the campaign, beat it, and I was done. Like that's all I would do, and then constantly go back and try the multiplayer here and there, but I didn't know much about it, so I wouldn't play it. And then with zombies, BO3, I tried zombies once, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I got so scared with the zombies. I was like, I'm never playing zombies ever again. BO4, I had people to play zombies with, and I was like, yeah, it's okay, but it's not much my style. Like, I like playing against other people and shitting on kids, I guess, rather than shitting on zombies.
Justy, what do you think about red dot laser sights? What do you think about red dot sights on World War II era weapons?
I think they look really good on SMGs. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, nice.
Now Tevin's triggered.
No, yeah, that was kind of weird to see during the the beta, but honestly, I don't really care. Like, I mean, nothing's gonna be entirely.
Is that triggering to you?
No, it's a game, bro. Like,
that's what I'm like. Yeah,
it's
you
more
see those
of
people
like
on
the
Twitter. They're
feel
like,
of it,
"How's
yeah.
a red dot on a gun in World War II?" And I'm like,
Here's the thing: I don't really use
Video
sights
game.
anyways on any gun, so like, I don't really. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care.
I used to always use sights up until a couple months ago. I stopped using sights on all of my guns except for snipers, obviously. But like, I'm like, I was always had sights on everything. Even my pistols had sights.
Oh, no. Oh,
I swear to God, it like helped me for some reason, and now I'm just like, why did I ever do that? Don't ask.
I'm not.
Lainie is scared of zombies. Yes, Lainie is scared of zombies. I'm not joking.
I gotta get you and Spencer into a lobby because I played zombies with Spencer once. Oh my god! Like, me and Megan were carrying him the entire time. It was great, but like every
I go
5
down
minutes-
every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, so does Spencer, but like
Yeah.
every 5 seconds, Spencer's like, "Where do I go? What do I do now?" I'm like, "Just shoot the zombies." Like,
Yep.
okay, but where do I go? I'm like, "Just stay where you are." I'm like,
Yeah.
So
I'm
it's
like,
okay.
what is the objective? Like, I just
I
shoot
think you
the
guys
thing.
posted a screenshot of like after the game summary, and it was like you and Megan went down like twice or 3 times, and Spencer was like in like 30 something downs. And you guys like screenshot it and just posted it, and I was like,
Believe it or not,
no.
that's not the worst game I ever had. I once had 56 revives in 56 revives in a viewer lobby that I did once.
Oh
I
my
never saw that kid again. He never came
So
back.
that was my one showing, and that's about it.
I don't know what it is.
Never
It's just
came back.
zombies scare the shit out of me. Like, you'll hear them coming, but they just pop up out of nowhere half the time. Or
Well,
like when they
World
come
War
up from the
II
ground, I'm
had
like,
jump
no,
scares.
I don't want this.
World War II had jump scares and zombies.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there was like one point where like you're turning on the power, like you're turning this wheel, and they would just come out of the window and grab you. Yeah, I remember the first time playing that, I just screamed so loud. My dad
Oh.
comes downstairs, he's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "The game." Like, it was just the game.
Just a jump scare.
Yeah,
I know. Chat wanted me to play Left 4 Dead, I think it was, one
Oh.
time, and
so good.
I couldn't last like 5 minutes. I was like, nope,
It's so good.
not doing it. I don't like them. I'll watch Walking Dead, but I can't play a freaking zombie game for crap. Like,
Yeah.
makes no sense.
Just have you played Back 4 Blood yet?
I played the beta. I'm gonna get it eventually, but not right now.
It's so good.
Rogue One asks, do you have plans on camel grinding for multiplayer and zombies?
Yes, sir. That's what I do. That's what I'm doing right now. I just got the Ironhide new shotgun. I got that Dark Ether. I'm 3/4 of the way for the Lappa, and then I have the Grav to do, I think, because I just unlocked that. I'm way behind on the season because I wasn't here for a month, but
Yeah.
yeah. I just find like so much satisfaction in just what am I trying to say? And like grinding, and like when the level pops up, I'm like, yes, did it again. And then getting those camos and just seeing like you get the gold Viper camo. I'm just like, this is
Right.
and it looks nice too. It looks really nice.
We should do a final call for questions, I believe.
Yes. We have time
Last
for
call,
maybe
guys.
2 more questions.
If you guys have any questions for Justy or any of us, please send them in now. Spencer, Dark Ether or DM Ultra, Justy?
Dark Ether. I don't know. DM Ultra kind of looks like soapy water, but yeah, I Dark Ether all the way. Although JJ did send me like a leak of like the Zombies Master camo.
Mhm.
It's red. It looks nice.
Ooh.
It's red.
it looks nice. Yeah.
I was on that DM Ultra grind, and then I just like fell off. I got hooked on Warzone.
I
was
couldn't.
like,
I
no.
could never do it. Honestly, I just like I'm the person like, oh my spawn, let's go run just shooting.
Yeah.
I'm okay with getting 3 kills and dying and just doing it
Yeah.
again. That's
Yeah.
my multiplayer skill.
Like I made it so far too, and I'm just like I can't give up. But at the same time, I'm thinking like I have pistols, freaking launchers to do. I'm like that's gonna be a pain.
Can't camo grind.
Yeah, and I see like some like I watched like Frankie play COD and like some of the other I've watched some of the other Skirata guys play COD and like they would hate me on their team because I just run around and it's like, hey, look, a person, ba 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 ba, and then and then I die. I'm like, let's do it again, just
right.
And then like there's be the occasion I go like 57-10 out of nowhere. So
Dude, I remember like the first time you went like 25-2 and you were like so pumped and you're like, Tevin, look, and you're like 25-2, and I was like, holy, look at that.
Tev.
What?
Well, you got a request in chat for Smydrape.
No, he put it on the screen.
Yep. So now you have to do it.
I was gonna ask for one, but I almost called it like a Smurfle. I don't remember what it was called. Smurfle.
Yes, I can. Unfortunately. Dude, I don't.
This is the best way to wrap up the episode. This is great. While we wait for Tev to do this, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go follow Justy on Twitch. There we go.
It's so
good. I'm so glad that this follows you around though. Like it followed you to the charity stream. It's following you to the podcast.
That was one of the worst things. I was like, dope. I was like, I'm on the team channel. I'm safe. And Spencer redeemed it. And I was like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, why is that there? Like, what? That wasn't there before.
That was great.
Added
it just for you.
And unfortunately, it's been one of my things. It's come and it's like, yo, let's see you drooling yourself. And I'm like, okay.
It's entertainment. It's content.
But wrap it up on that.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Justy, for coming and talking to us. And I loved hearing all your spooky stories. That was great. I literally had goosebumps that entire time. Like I was freaking out. But guys, thank you so much, everyone that was here live, watching us live. Please go follow. I'm not doing the Dino Mask. Please go follow all of our podcast platforms: Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, all of them. Look it up. You have it on your phone. You'll find us beyond streaming. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, go follow us on Twitter. We are going to get those pictures from Justy of Dwight. We're going to get those posted if you guys want to see those. And I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you so much for coming out for episode 6. Have a great Halloween and be safe and stay warm and eat lots of candy. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.